How's it, guys? How's it, Rassie?
Hey.
It's finally here, match week, Ireland. I don't think, there will ever be another rivalry like we have with the All Blacks, but this is shaping up to be quite a one. How's the feeling?
Yeah, the feeling is like when we play the All Blacks and when we play big teams. I think the rivalry is more from the media side as from ours. I think sometimes maybe they don't 100% understand our South African sense of humor, why we try to find something funny in anything, even when it's going bad. And sometimes it gets quoted out of context. Just take Simon Zebo as an example. I mean, the guy phoned me and he says, he was in a podcast, an old podcast, having a few beers, and he made the crack, and he said that. And he said, I know I'm repeating myself, but just to take the last part of I say, let's spice it up. That's also that's South African humor, saying it back to Simon. So yes, they're number 2 in the world. They've beaten us last time. We don't see ourselves as the underdogs. I don't think they see themselves as the underdogs, and I think you'll see 2 teams on Saturday really desperate to perform for their countries.
Rassie, in terms of selection, how difficult was it in certain positions like fly-off and other positions?
Yeah, difficult is almost it's almost a bit of a privilege, if you have guys out like Jean Klein and Loot and Hanekom, and there's so many youngsters that we also could have, where the Bulls went really deep, that we could have selected Damian Willems, those kind of guys. Then you go down and you see, okay, but I think SA Rugby's structures is working in terms of bringing youngsters through. I just look at our under-20 captain currently. I think he's probably one of the guys that can play in the next 2-3 years. And I know he's not a loose head, but he's like Oli Leroux type of player, or Ostorant, who can come through very early. And I think Jan Wessels should have been one of those as well. Look, at the end of the day, they can only play 23. And Ireland is a country that's much smaller than us. Although people like to compare 60 million to 4 million, not all 60 million play rugby in South Africa, and not all 60 million follow rugby. But the way we have depth currently certainly showed us, after all the injuries, that we are on a healthy position. But that means absolutely nothing if it doesn't transfer onto the field.
Rassie, can I ask you, usually when you come to press conference, I've been fortunate where you've always reminded us that when the Springboks run out into the field, that they always go out to win test matches. Can I ask you, as a coach and an experienced player like even next to you, do you as a leader, do you ever use words like revenge, we've got a score to settle, or we've got unfinished business when you face teams, especially this team that you guys are facing? Please correct me, the last time you guys beat Ireland was back in 2016? Is that the type of language you would want to use in your side? Is there some unfinished business that you guys have got this weekend, in the next series?
No, we don't use those words.
But do you think you guys have got some unfinished business? You are the 2-time back-to-back world champions. Is there something to prove against this Ireland side?
I think that they probably, from their side, have unfinished business but try and get number 1. So we don't talk like that. We analyze players, we judge on how they performed in URC and European Cup, and we pick our teams accordingly to see what players we think can do the job for us, on Saturday, and we train really hard. And we try to stay in our reality. Our reality is we're playing at home against a team that's beaten us. All the games were really close. They deserved all of those games. But it's never, we've got a score to settle. I mean, I'd rather take a World Cup, 2 World Cups, and a Brilliant Lions series and take the 3 losses. But we never go out to lose. We definitely don't pick this team to try and lose.
Rassie, you mentioned Damian Willems answer there. Is Sasha going to play that kind of role off the bench? Do you have a specific plan for that?
Yeah, we might still, there's one or two niggles. We might on Thursday still, there's a possibility for 7-1 as well. But that we'll give it time for Thursday, but I don't want to elaborate on that too much now at this point. But Sasha certainly brings something to the party where, you know, there's not a lot of changes when we go 6-2. You know, if you had to pick, and that's actually where Mani missed out. You know, because if a 12 goes down, you can go straight to 12 because he's played 12 for the Stormers. If a 15 go down, you can go straight to 15. If a 10 goes down, you can go straight to 10. Whereas with Mani, again, I want to reiterate, for him not making the 23, it's just purely because we went 6-2. But Mani is not so comfortable at 12. Andre would go to 12. And then Mani to 10 or fullback, then we'll have to move Cheslin back to fullback. Everybody from 10-1 out. And so that just makes more sense why Sasha, yes, can cover those three positions.
And just on the 2 locks on the bench, is that because of the opposition or specific plan?
No, it's just RG always brings a lot of energy for us off the bench. Salman is like Jan-Hendrik Wessels, one of the players. You know, we ranked the players since 2013, what they must work on and what their potential and what their ceiling is. A guy like Salman has just been really unlucky, injury-wise. He always, at very crucial stages just before tournaments, got some bad injuries. He's really showing his willingness and his physicality in training sessions and in a few minutes or 20 or 25 minutes, Eben would know. How many minutes?
Against Wales.
Yeah, what,
probably 20.
Yeah, 21 minutes against Wales when Evan was up. And he had some solid performances there. So yeah, in that sense, it's nice for a front row to have 2 fresh locks behind them somewhere in the game.
Rassie, just carrying on with the bench, I mean, you've got tremendous loose forward riches. And obviously your starting loose chair is quite a second combination. But to go with Marco van Staden, a real specialist open side on the bench, does that point to the breakdowns being really crucial on Saturday and a potential strength of Ireland?
Yeah, it's a good question. We didn't, but that's not why we picked him. I think Marco brings impact in all the areas, in carrying the ball, in defense, in slowing the ball down, in mauling, in scrumming. He's definitely somebody that you can have on the bench. He can play 8 as well. He's somebody who comes on and don't just sort out one department who might not be firing or doing as well as we wanted to at that specific moment. So I'll say he's more all-rounder. We've since I can't remember when last we played with an open and blind side. Even when I and under Venter played, we played left and right. But you're right, he's a great poacher of the ball, and hopefully he can get us a few, but the Irish got tremendous loose forwards.
Rassie, there's 2 key positions, 13 and 8. You've got Bacha at 8, you've got Jason 13. I mean, Lucario has come back from injury. They did take the shocks that after injured, I think he was up against the other Washington Wasps, if I'm not mistaken. They said he would be recovering in time for the World Cup, for these matches. How tricky was the decision to go JC and Bacha, especially with how well Evan was pushed on the season?
No, it wasn't tricky. I think Jesse's in top form. I don't think there's anybody that can say Jesse is not in outstanding form. In the World Cup he was. In the last World Test match he was. Lucanio hasn't played a lot of rugby in the last 4 or 5 weeks. You know, it's a different story of a guy like Malcolm, where we had him and we could take. We couldn't yet do the things with Lucanio to make him match ready, because he's not 100% match ready. Well, playing Irish level match ready. A guy like Malcolm, and that's why the Welsh Test match was so important. A guy like Malcolm, we could start there, we could give him 45 minutes. You know, now he can come off the bench again. Bongi can go as long as he can, and Malcolm can hopefully have some impact. But when Lucanio's on form, Lukhanyo is brilliant, and it's just a matter of time before Lukhanyo will start pushing Jesse really hard again. And then there's young Ethan Hooker, who we thought is really a find. We think he's playing well. And then also, obviously, who's our other, Kainan, who really did well at 13. So Kainan will also join us and be available for the second test. Kwaghan Evan, yeah. If you want to go 6-2 and you want to have Marco and Kwagha in the team, it would be lovely to have Kwagha and Marco on the bench and say go and have an impact. But then you must go 7-1, or you must drop a lockout. And we don't feel Salman deserves to get dropped out. He's settling in as a nice front lock. He's learning a lot from guys from Evan. Ivan has now been with us for a while. He's got, I think, 4 or 5 test caps under his belt. All of the players out there understand what we're trying to do. We're trying to not kill guys' careers by throwing them into a squad of unknowns around them, but slowly and certainly give guys opportunity against proper teams, and then a bit tougher, and then a bit tougher, and then give you a rest again, and then maybe are you now a proper test player? And I guess Ivan showed us he is, and he will get his chance again.
Rassie, I think in terms of the bench as well, I see Gerasden Kamp is in. Also, we also have a player like Thomas Dutoy, who would have probably been fighting for a position in those props on the bench. You can carry the sides, had a fantastic season in England, has become a try-scoring machine. Can you just take us through what was the thinking between both of those two players? Was it ever a toss-up between the two to see who gets the number 17 chamber?
That one is unfortunately just logistics. A guy like Kobus Reinach had 2 training sessions with us just because when Montpellier released him. He's a guy that can easily make the match at 23. Just Krappies was the whole time with us, from the first alignment camp, all the training sessions, because we definitely trying some new things, and 1 or 2 guys in a team who doesn't know all the little things we're trying to do, sometimes that swing momentum in the game. Thomas also only joined us very late. Because he wasn't like Andre Pollard. Leicester fell out, and Andre Pollard immediately joined us, and he trained with us 3 weeks. This is his 4th week, so it's easy to put him in. Thomas, we're happy to have Thomas. We're happy to have Trevor also in the mix. And I think Tux had a really good 10 minutes when he was on. It was tough to leave him out of the group. And then the same with Netling Fischer and André Guventer, what they brought, not to the game specifically, but to the squad when they were on tour.
Rassie, obviously a lot of these Irish,
hello, how you been?
Lots of these Irish guys have spent a season with Jack Naber in Ireland. Do you have any concerns they might have got a bit extra insight into how the box work?
Yeah, no, definitely they will, without a doubt. But Jacques phones me every night and tells me everything about Ireland. No, I'm joking. No, look, rugby is a professional game, and certainly he will implement things there, what worked for us here. Some of them you can clearly see. Some of them are working, some of them are not working because players and countries and cultures are different, and coaches are different when you're in different cultures and countries. I remember when I was in Munster, you're a bit out of your comfort zone, and you don't always read body language, and when you said something, you're not quite sure that this guy get what I was trying to say there. But Argus Neyman played for Munster, he's now a Leinster boy, what you can nowadays see on television, and if you follow teams on Twitter, they post all their drills and stuff on Twitter nowadays a lot, so you can see who's basically sometimes think who's starting and who's wearing the bib and who's not wearing the bib, and those kind of things. So one thing I can promise you, I will never put Jacques in a position where he has his people he's working with and team he loves currently, which is Leinster. Think he would in any way help us, but I also trust him not to tell him like names of moves and calls and those kind of things. I'm not worried about that.
What have you seen? Sorry, just one other one. Have you seen much change in Ireland since the last time? Because obviously Johnny Sexton is gone now, big leader. Have you seen much change?
The ref's got it much easier now. Since Johnny's gone. No, I'm joking. Yes, Johnny. I always said when we played against Johnny, he's so frustrated at us, but we would be nice to be in his team. And I guess I want to say we have respect for him, for how he plays, how he could command games and command respect. But this young fella, he's not scared. He plays it on the game line. He goes for a cross kick if he wants to. He doesn't shy away from tackling. I'm not sure if they put what's the small one from Munster, Casey or Mur with them. Maybe Casey, because Casey and him play together. So at that age, you don't feel the pressure of Test match rugby so much until you actually realize what you're part of, and sometimes that's good. And what have changed in the game? I think they even defend a little bit Jacques Nobber style, a little bit. And they're harder off the line, without a doubt.
Even can I ask you, as the most experienced player in the squad, can I ask you, it sounds like, and you'll correct me if I'm wrong, Rassie wants the history to stay in the past, what happened in the past against the two nations to stay in the past. What is it about the Springboks versus this island side? And why is it that you guys have not managed to get one over this island side in the last 3 encounters?
Yeah, well, I think they're obviously a world-class team. They're good at their structures. They know what they want out of a game. And yeah, obviously the last few games haven't gone our way. So yeah, we're excited for this challenge, 2 test matches in South Africa. We obviously haven't played them in South Africa for the last 8 years, so it's going to be a nice challenge to face them here in front of our own fans. I'm sure there will be a few thousands of Irish fans coming down as well. So yeah, it's going to be a great test match.
Should we read something into the fact that Rassie has brought his, sorry, I don't know the English word, the grofverskit nader for this test match, the series though, or at least this test match?
Sorry, the what?
He brought in the grofverskit, the big guns, there we go.
What big guns?
The Springbok big guns, like yourself and the rest of the squad.
Well, we every time pick. Every time try and pick a best team that's available.
Yeah, it's a funny question.
Actually, it's actually a serious question. Should we, as the media, as the public, as the supporters, can we read something in there that Rassie and his management team are serious that they should try and get one over Ireland at Loftus this weekend?
We're playing Ireland. I think Rassie's going to always pick his best squad. I think for the Wales game as well. I think we go out. I certainly go out, and everyone who's with me on the field go out every test match to go and win. Doesn't matter if that's a game against the Griffins or if it's a big test match or World Cup final. I think you've put on the Springbok jersey. You always want to get a test victory. It goes down in history. That's what I call history, and you want to be part of the better side of history. So yeah, don't think you can read anything into that. I think Ireland will also pick their best team. So yeah.
Evan, just talking about I know you relish the physical battle, the forwards and the whole team, but would you expect something new come Saturday compared to what you experienced the last time at the World Cup with the same opposition?
Yeah, I think there's always. I mean that's why coaches get paid so much, because they always have great plans and come with new plans. So there'll always be new plans that they'll bring to the game. So we definitely can't expect the same what they brought last time. They've got a DNA. So do we. So there's always that 80% that will probably stay the same, but there's always that room for change. And yeah, you must just, when you play test match rugby, expect anything.
It's just not a money thing. Ask him who he sold his house to. Go tell them.
The big coach.
Kevin, there was much said about the chat you had with Jim and the whole Irish thing after the group stage match. Do you feel they're going to target you more with regards to that, or is that also just something that was overhyped in the media?
Yeah, I would say the Irish media definitely targeted me after that incident. Look, I said what I said, and it was after the game, and I see a lot of them said how I could count exactly to that certain amount. I mean, you just obviously give an estimate. It was definitely not less than 6 or 7. It was not more than 20 of them. So just gave an estimate, and yeah, I mean, like I said what I said. Like, we'll never after a game tell a team we'll see you in the final if there's so many rugby still to be played. Maybe that was their way to say they think we're a good side and we might make it all the way through. I don't know, but yeah, people definitely interpreted that a bit wrong and took it a bit out of context.
Guys, let's take one or two more English questions and then we go to Afrikaans because we've got 8 minutes here.
I was going to ask you, does altitude matter this weekend at Loftus? Because we saw on the Leinster coming here, falling short, but then we saw Glasgow Warriors coming here and put one over the Bulls here.
It depends how fit you are. You know, that's why if you're unfit, which Ireland won't be. You know, they arrived Friday, I think, or more than 9 days here, 10 days here. Yeah, it definitely affects, but all of us. The guys went home this weekend to Cape Town for 2 days, so they come back to altitude again when they arrive here on Sunday evening here. So yeah, it's more of the kicking. It really has a big effect. It does change your distance and how far you can pass the ball further. You can kick the ball further. You can kick it higher. You can kick for touch further. And you definitely run a little bit more, and that together with the altitude, because the ball travels so far, and kicking game is quite something currently in test match rugby. But knowing Ireland and coached there for 2 years, they're very scientific around things like that, and they will be doing their best that does not affect them.
Last English question, Kaniso, and then Afrikaans.
Rassie, there's the need to pick what we deem to be your best team, and there's also the need to look forward, as you said in the past, that 2027 is a long project. How do you balance that? Because as you rightly said, that Ireland is a series that needs to be won, regardless of whatever's being said around it. But you also need to also put in the early stepping stones for the next World Cup defense. How do you try to balance that tightrope with every given test match?
Yeah, actually another one there that you must balance is trying to hold your job and not get fired in between. Look, if we get all the players to understand, and that's what we're trying to do with the squad we have, and bringing players into experience, as I said to you last week, about Andre Hugo's experience and what Joseph experienced, what Tux has experienced, what Ivan's experience. I think it's a much better way of bringing guys in and giving 14, 15 guys, and I'm repeating what I said last week, sorry. But in 2020 we lost the whole year. We just didn't have this, Wales test match where 4 debutants played and 1 was man of the match. Now he's comfortable in the Springbok setup. Now if Cheslin goes down or Kanan comes back, there's competition, more competition again. And now Tux, who's played well when he came on for those 10 minutes, now Gerrit is under pressure again. And when Kitsi comes back, then Kitsi must work his way back in. So it's for us, we've got a succession planning chart, and you know, we would love to get so many caps into different players and have targets for that. But momentum and the vibe and the feeling of the fans sometimes overshadow and make you change things, because you don't want the fans and the media start thinking that you're not well planned, and then sometimes you just say, listen, we plan to give a few guys in this game a chance. We're not having great momentum now. Let's throw in the grof geskit, like Percy said. So hopefully that way.